coming to you live from just outside the swamp of the nation's capital. Get ready for invigorating talk, commentary, and debate on the issues affecting your life. Grab your favorite drink. It's Nightcaps with Nate. Now, here's Nate.
What is going on, everybody? Another edition of Nightcaps and Nate. Hey, tonight we're going to talk about the presidential debate that happened last night, the debate and the candidates. And we always have candidates that are just crazy. Yeah, Trump's crazy. But, you know, he gets away with it because he's just so influential. He's over the top. I don't like his Twitter mouth. I mean, I've said that over and over again. I'm not going to beat that down. He's probably going to be the nominee, but these debates may be a little important because if Trump ends up in prison, in jail, which is highly likely, maybe not at the federal level because he'll probably get pardoned, but and maybe even in Georgia where he will probably get pardoned by the Republican governor. But New York could be, you know, that's a Democrat governor. She's not going to pardon him. So there's a chance that he's going to be a convicted felon. And with that being said, if he is a convicted felon, I don't know how electable he is. He's defied all the odds. People love him. And he's actually beating Biden in most polls. So if there's some scenario that may happen. The scenarios that may happen is that Biden just decides not to run. I think he's losing in the polls because his vice president is Kamala Harris and nobody wants her in. I think you have one guy who's running, I think, from Connecticut. You have RFK Jr. I think he's running as an independent. You have Newsom, who says he's not running, but is probably, if Biden drops out, going to be the nominee. Okay, so that leaves us with essentially 4 candidates remaining out of after Trump. DeSantis, who I love policy-wise, probably ruined his chances when he signed a 6-week abortion ban. It wasn't a total ban, but it was a 6-week ban, and I just don't see that going over with the women voters. And if you don't believe me, look at Red Kansas. They defeated any sort of abortion ban. Look at Ohio. Look at all these different states that are red states or lean red, and it's a losing issue, okay? The national abortion ban is a losing issue. The Supreme Court was right. Go to the states, let the states decide. So with them running on a 6-week ban or even a 15-week ban, if I was them, I would say, hey, progressive Europe, up until very recently, had a 15-week ban on abortions. Okay, so I think it's fair. That's the earliest, even with the most modern science, that a child is viable. So Republicans, get rid of your abortion stance, okay? Take that local to your state house and you can do it there, but, you know, and that is what DeSantis did. He did it at the state level, so I get it, all right? But he needs to come out and say, hey, no, I wouldn't do it at the national level. It's a state right issue. That's what we went to the Supreme Court about. They agreed. It is a states' rights issue. And then, but besides that, he's got great policy. He's just not very good on the stump. He kind of surprised me because he was my early favorite. And then Vivek Ramaswamy came on, and he became my favorite because he sounded like a smart Harvard kid, millennial, saying all the right things, going to the Democrat strongholds like the inner cities and other places. And what does he do? He starts becoming a nut job. I mean, some of the stuff he says it's getting out there. Then you got Chris Christie. Chris Christie was the original Donald Trump before Donald Trump came along as Republican. He was very strong as a governor, took on his state apparatus, but he made some stupid mistakes. One when he closed down that bridge, which cost some people their lives. He was trying to punish somebody, but the bridge from New York to New Jersey was shut down for construction. Not a smart move. And then he got caught out when the beaches were closed. I think it was during Katrina or something. He got caught out there on a private beach sunbathing. Okay, and let's just be real. He's a big boy. I think he's great, but he really has started pandering to especially ABC News, who he works for as a commentator. And that really leads us to Nikki Haley. Now, I'm not going to lie. And I'm not a misogynist, and what I'm going to say may sound sexist, but it's not. However, politically speaking, a lot of women go to the national level, i.e. Cheney, who's going to run, she's going to run, Liz Cheney's going to run out of Wisconsin. They get there and they get really, really squishy. They get really, they get, I don't know what it is, okay? They tend to really lurch left. If you look at the Reagan appointee, she just died, Sandra Day O'Connor. She came as a Reagan appointee and turned out to be one of the most liberal justices on the Supreme Court. So, what does that mean? I like Nikki so far. I think she's got the chops. She was a good governor of Red, South Carolina. She was very popular. She would be a first female president, which would be good for the Republican Party. She is conservative. I want to see that she stays conservative. Let's go through some of this debate, and I'm going to just opine really quickly throughout these highlights, okay, and show you where I think these idiots just kind of shoot themselves in the foot, or they try to go after the front runner, and they violate Reagan's 11th commandment, thou shalt not go after another Republican, but they do it anyways, and I just don't know why they have to do it. Let's go through this, and I'll stop and opine as needed.
I have delivered results. That's what we need for this country. And you have other candidates up here like Nikki Haley. She caves anytime the left comes after her, anytime the media comes after her. I did a bill in Florida to stop the gender mutilation of minors. It's child abuse, and it's wrong.
So let's stop there. First, he could have just made his own case. He's the front runner right now. He could have just made his own case. I don't think he had to go after Nikki Haley and say that she caves to the left and caves to the media. I do hate Republicans that cave to the media. Then let's go what he was talking about, gender mutilation of children. If you hear Haley's answer next, I totally agree. Here it goes.
She opposes that bill. That is the truth.
I never said
we have it
that.
on video.
I said that if you have to be 18 to get a tattoo, you should have to be 18 to have anything done to change your gender.
You said the law should stay.
100% correct. I am a libertarian. I am not anti-trans. If you want to be trans, that's fine. But with that being said, you have to. I would even go farther than 18. And I'll tell you why. I vape. Okay, saber cigarettes. Even a soldier now, which I think is so dumb, has to be 21 to buy a vape. They can kill people. They can carry. We put life and death situations in hands. But to vape, they have to be 21. To me, it's just all stupid. It's a whole nother debate topic. But if you can't vape until you're 21, maybe you shouldn't be able to get permanent life-altering things done to your 21. Now, I think we should take it all back to 18, including drinking. I think the drinking age should be 18. Yes, the brain's not but if you can vote, if you can fight for your country, you should be able to vape and do what you want to do. If you can get married at 18, that's a lifelong contract. Okay? Let's keep going.
Stay out of it.
I think the North Star here is transgenderism is a mental health disorder.
While it was considered one at one time, it's not now, Vivek. And saying that, you're just killing your chances of ever winning an election, okay? Whether you disagree or agree with transgenderism and, the woke ideology of saying there's so many different genders and all that, first of all, it's kind of a little bit different than transgenderism, but that's a losing issue. Maybe it's good for some people, but I don't think you're going to win on that issue. Okay? We can say, hey, we believe in science. There's a male and a female, and I agree with that. However, as a libertarian, if you want to go and get surgery and call yourself another gender and everybody's willing to go along with it, I have no problem with it. Just don't put the bill on me.
We don't let you smoke a cigarette by the age of 18. We don't let you have an addictive drink of alcohol by the age of 21. We can do the same thing when it comes to banning genital mutilation.
Look, we will take support from anybody we can take support from, but I have been a conservative fighter all my life. I was a Tea Party candidate when I became governor. We opposed every single corporate bailout we possibly could. When it comes to these corporate people that want to suddenly support us, we'll take it.
Nikki, you were bankrupt when you left the UN. After you left the UN...
All right, so here we go. We're going to a new topic. I don't think how many people care about the United Nations, especially on the right, since most of them are against it, but let's go.
You became a military contractor. You actually started joining service on the board of Boeing, whose back you scratched for a very long time, and then gave foreign multinational speeches like Hillary Clinton is, and now you're a multimillionaire. That math does not add up. It adds up to the fact that you are corrupt.
I know the elites in D.C., they don't care. They don't care that fentanyl's ravaging your community.
All right, so he's going with the corrupt thing. I disagree. Don't go after another Republican, because guess what? As soon as she's got a better chance of being nominated than him. So it's one thing to debate policy, but when you start calling people corrupt and stuff, unless they're really corrupt, probably not a good idea. Not in your own party. Call Biden corrupt. He's corrupt as hell. You know, and Trump probably is too, if you want to get into, to be fair. But Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton are definitely corrupt. But you go after them, okay? I'm not saying be hypocritical, but what she did is a far cry from corruption, okay? Maybe there's a little quid pro quo. If that's proven, then yeah, she should be prosecuted for it. But there's no base to that. And her being a Republican, believe me, the media has already checked. Unlike Biden or the Clintons, where they just kind of, we're not going to really check. It's never been proven. Well, yeah, because you're not doing your job, media. That has it. Now we're going on to the borders, it looks like.
Community. They don't care that illegal aliens are ravaging our community and overwhelming our community. The commander-in-chief not only has a right, you have a responsibility to fight back against these people. You're going to categorize them as foreign terrorist organizations, and we will identify, just like we would anywhere. When I was in Iraq, the Al-Qaeda wasn't wearing a uniform. You'd see anyone walking down the street, they all had man dresses on. You didn't know if someone had a bomb, an IED attached, or not.
But look at where fentanyl came from.
But why would you go after somebody's culture? A man dress? Come on. That's like calling him a towel head. It's racist. It's stupid. That's a dumb move, DeSantis. You can make great points like he is until you have to try to be funny. And you're not funny.
Let's go to the heart of the matter. It came from China. That's why we need to end all normal trade relations with China until they stop murdering Americans with fentanyl. But this is where Trump went wrong. Trump was good on trade, but that's all he was with China. Because here he allowed fentanyl to continue to come over. He continued to allow them to he would give them technology that would build up their military and hurt us. He allowed the Chinese infiltration for them to buy up farmland, to put money in our universities, and to continue to do things that were harmful for America.
Okay. While she may be technically correct there was only so much Trump can do. He lost, I mean, one was his own doing and stupid Twitter stuff, but come on, Trump was the toughest person I've ever seen on China. Every president, left and right, would say, oh, I'm coming in, we're going to take on China, but none of them did. They didn't have the balls to. Trump was the first one to have the balls to do it. So I take issue with that.
I want everybody at home to note that I was the first person to say we need a reasonable peace deal in Ukraine. Now a lot of the neocons are quietly coming along to that position, with the exceptions of Nikki Haley and Joe Biden. Neither of them could even state for you 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine that they want to send our troops to actually fight for.
This is a smart, accomplished woman. You should stop.
Okay, so there was more that he said, hey, and they didn't show it here, but he said, I'll go get my, you don't know where Israel and the United States are even on the map, which is stupid. And he's like, I'll go get my 3-year-old kid to show you, Miss Haley, but it was misogynistic and stupid.
Insulting.
So I'm going to take, Chris, your version of foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York. Yeah. After the third debate, when I criticized Ronna McDaniel after 5 failed years of leadership of this party, and criticized Nikki for her corrupt foreign dealings as a military contractor, she said that I have a woman problem. Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And
that is a canned line that they hope, you know, because Reagan did it so effectively, and they hope that that would, like, go after and go on and on and on. But, man, dude, you do sound kind of a little misogynistic.
I think that that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die.
Governor Haley, would you like to respond?
No. It's not worth my time to respond to him.
You seem to be saying Donald Trump is no longer mentally fit to be president. Is that what you think?
The idea that we're going to put someone up there that's almost 80 and there's going to be no effects from that, we all know that that's not true.
You're not answering it.
You just don't like. You have your thing. You have your thing.
They're afraid to offend. And let me tell you something. If you're afraid to offend Donald Trump, then what are you going to do when you sit across from President Xi, you sit across from the Ayatollah, you sit across from Putin?
All right, well, so there was others part in there, and yeah, I know it's NBC, and I don't know what I'm thinking. They just had the longest clips. But there was other stuff in there where Christie called him a Harvard smartass or something like that. Bottom line, I want to hear in your comment section, if Trump is barred from running or ends up in jail, is there a second candidate that you would go for? Put it in the comments. I would love to know your thoughts. This has been a great version of Nightcaps and Nate, and I'll see you next time.
This has been Nightcaps with Nate. Please join Nate for a nightcap every weeknight at 9 Eastern here on Facebook Live.